Welcome to Heart of a Volunteer Veteran Podcast. Join us today on Saga Ep.025. Crazy isn't always good. I'm your co-host for today, Duane O'Keefe.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Duane, brother, welcome to the show, my friend. How you doing, man?
Great. And you? How are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing excellent, man. I'm doing excellent. It's been an amazing week, and hell, man, we've been talking all this week, and it's been awesome, bro. It's been amazing,
yeah,
man.
It has. It has.
You know, it's crazy, man. Like we were talking, it's like, you know, we always got along in the sense of, you know, because we served together. We were squad leaders and platoon sergeants together. And, you know, we butted heads a lot as young NCOs. Yeah. But through this week, man, like we were talking, it's like the only reason we butted heads is because we loved our soldiers that much. And we always butted heads over everything that encompassed them. And I you know, looking back, I respect you immensely for that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do too. I do as well. And you know, it's funny too, because sometimes you don't, like we talk, you know, like we discussed, you don't always understand what was going on at the time. You know, when you look back on it, and you're like, man, what, you know, what was I thinking sometimes?
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
But then, you know, when you look at things in retrospect, you're like, man, that was an amazing person that I got to work with. You know what I mean? And be around.
Yeah, I feel the same, man. And just like the soldiers, man, like we were talking. Dude, we reminisced for like, I think we were talking about soldiers for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
The other day.
Yeah.
And that's good stuff, man. And you know, like we were talking, just having you on the episode is going to make a lot of changes out there. So once again, man, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, no problem. I hope so. I mean, you know, like you think that it's gonna, like we, you know, we'll get into in the show about, you know, the people that I reached, and maybe, you know, there's some things going on where, you know, I don't really give myself enough credit, and I have some doubt about a lot of things. So I would like to maybe reach out to those people that I feel that I might have, you know, not reached well enough. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely, dude. Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, man, I think, you know, in fact, I know there is a large amount of veterans out there that they appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, the reach out, knowing that, you know, that somebody that was part of a significant moment in their life is still there for them. That's connecting them. Almost making it seem as if your life is real. I know that's kind of hard to think of, but, you know, I think a lot of veterans get out there twisted and like, man, what I did, it was surreal. And it's almost as like a chunk of their life didn't exist because it doesn't feel like it's real. And these are good anchors, man. These are good anchors. Pull folks back in.
Yeah, no, I agree. And and that's, you know, that maybe to grab them and if they become lost, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what, you know, we talked about. I'm gonna go. You know, I've always been social media averse.
Right.
But I'm gonna start and reach out because I felt lost, and I think this, you know, finding this platform with you and trying to reach out and trying to do something, I feel like it gives me purpose. So you know, I'm gonna get out there and see what I can do for people.
Well, brother, the podcast is always here for you, man. If you want to come on, you know, like we talked about, if you've got it, you got it. And if you got it, and veterans can need it, you're almost obligated, especially now since you've been on the podcast once, We own you.
Right.
You sold your soul to the wrong podcast, brother. But the thing is, you're gonna do great things. So we're very, very blessed to have you, man. It's gonna be a good time.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, hey, man, let's slide off into some veterans business. Talk about some stuff. I've kind of chosen to kind of look at Tennessee. You know, like we were talking, It's like when you look at Texas, Tennessee, when it comes to veterans. They almost say veterans first and then everybody else. And
right.
And, you know, I think we might get into it. Is that cultural feel, is it veteran centric, or is it veterans third, fourth, and fifth? You know, we think of them in that order.
Yeah.
And I think Tennessee is one of those primaries, which is great. Like you said, it's an amazing state to be in if you're a veteran. Right,
it is. And, you know, I think maybe Fort Campbell helps. And then there's a lot of, you know, a lot of folks don't know that Fort Campbell it's in Kentucky, but most of it's in Tennessee.
Yeah, right.
And the veterans that, you know, the soldiers that retire, they stay in the area, and you know, and they've influenced a lot of that culture. Because when I first showed up to Fort Campbell, there's a lot of negativity towards the soldiers. But, you know, after the wars kicked on and then veterans really kind of kicked it in, and, you know, I think they've kind of reinforced that positive kind of cultural thing about, you know, helping veterans in this area.
Bringing that old love back, man.
Yeah, because if you
old
look
love.
like,
you know, like World War II guys, they got that old love, you know?
Yeah. And that's exactly it. Like, you know, when I was in the Rock Songs, every year we did the Hamburger Hill reunion. You know, all those vets would come back and they would tell their story and argue and get, you know, they would have this huge party at the hotel, and they would like rent a whole floor right there on Riverside Drive in Clarksville. It's crazy. But, you know, their commander was there. You know, they would bring out, you know, their actual battalion commander was still alive, you know, a couple years ago to you know, just take, and he would hang out with them.
Yeah.
You know, so it was amazing.
Dude, that's good
having
stuff,
those guys around. Yeah. You know, and I think a lot of, you know, installations still do that, but it's just the community is really strong here. I would say it's, you know, I would think it's the same around Fayetteville, North Carolina, things of that nature.
Yeah. Well, hey, I did scoop this up off the internet, man, and this here is kind of uncommon, especially in today's age. The Tennessee State Veterans Home, dude, they're getting ready to build a brand new veterans home. $47 million, man.
Yeah.
17 million of that was private donation, public donation, and private donation. Bradley County there in Cleveland, Tennessee, man. The groundbreaking is 21 August at 10:30.
Right.
But dude, you don't see states building, you know, soldiers' homes, veterans homes. You don't see them building that stuff anymore. If anything, they're trying to patch up the asbestos. You know what I mean? And no, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what they're doing, and it's good that they're doing that because that's our fallback. Right.
No, yeah.
At any given time, that could be us, man. It could be, you know, I don't have any family. What if your family dies and you're left by your own, you're by yourself? You know,
right?
You know, I know most of us veterans are thinking like, I'm going to be that old veteran on Gran Torino taking care of myself. It doesn't work that way all the time. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You're going to get put in a home. Yeah. Some of us. I'll be.
Yeah, in the home. That's a good point, man.
They're going to throw me in the home, guaranteed.
Yeah. Because, I mean, think about it. You know, you spent 20 years, you know, lugging around that body armor and trying to keep up with everybody and do all that running. And, you know, we don't do recovery, right?
Right.
And it's going to catch up to you real quick.
Well, that and just the, you know, and the same thing, man. Like, you know, we talked about just the toxic nature, man. If you don't get things turned around, you'll drive people away from you, and you'll be alone at the end. So I guess if you're gonna do that kind of stuff, Start giving $100 every month to the veterans home system in your state, so you got a place to live when it's all said and done. Because I'm telling you, hey, guard your mental health and your families, folks, or you're going to end up in the soldiers' home. But
yeah,
no, I like
point.
I like how Tennessee does their work, man. I like how they do that. Hey, they're in Pigeon Forge, man. They got the Welcome Home Veterans Parade going on this Saturday, 9 to 11. I've seen photos of it. It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I was just talking to my wife about that. We were discussing we had to go do that. We wanted to go do that because we love going to Pigeon Forge, man. It's like one of our things. And but we got that farming business we got to take care of this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm coming out there, bro. Wanted to go do that.
I'm coming out, man. You're gonna have to cut sling load on whatever you got, and give me the tour.
Yeah,
give me the tour. Yeah.
Tennessee's amazing, man. I love it. It's neat where that veterans home is. Actually, we're looking at it. It's like in a strategic place right there in Eastern Tennessee.
Really?
It's just south of Pigeon Forge.
Okay.
But you got North Carolina and Georgia right there. I mean, right, real close to it. So you're hitting it's right in the center of three main installations.
Right.
Which is kind of neat. But yeah.
Hey, folks, there's some smart work going on out there. I think people are thinking there's not a lot of smart things going on for veterans, but there are. Just like the company you keep, you got to pick your states too. You got to pick them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, so you were talking, man, about your farm. What is Tennessee doing for veterans when it comes to farming and agricultural work? Is that pretty robust or what?
Yeah. So right now, initially they started with these grant opportunity programs for veterans in Tennessee, and they focused on Montgomery County because of the large amount of veterans coming out, because we're Fort Campbell's in Montgomery County, and the large veteran community in Clarksville, Tennessee. And so the majority of the focus is there, and then they're branching out to other counties, as the proof of concept, kind of validates itself. Right. But you have the Veterans Farmer Coalition, which plays a major role in that, and that's a national level organization. But each state has its own little subchapter, right? I mean, but any veteran can get involved with them, and what they do is provide a wealth of information on how to get started, and that gets you in contact with the right people in your locations. Getting the regional connections, so to speak. But nothing is you got to put in the work. They just they just point you in the right direction, and they can help you with your business plan, get you going on those kind of things, to apply for loans and grants, and there's not going to be, nobody's going to give you land or anything like that. But it's, the grants, you can apply for a $2,500 grant, and that can pay for a lot on a farm. You may need a hopper, you may need, some tools, some attachments, or, you may need a tiller.
Yeah.
That'll really help out. You may just need to get some feed.
Right.
Whatever it is.
Hey, did you look? I know you've been listening to the episodes. Did you check out Warrior Rising?
I did. Yeah, I checked them out, and I was gonna apply. I was gonna go ahead and enroll in that, but I want to go ahead and get something solidified. Something stopped me.
Yeah.
Getting enrolled because they had a question on there that I really wanted to. I wanted to get started first.
Yeah.
So that I had a good plan. I had a good plan, and I had a direction to go.
I like that, brother. See it before you do it.
Just so that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so that. Just to show that I'm serious and that I've already started the process.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, dude.
Yeah.
I like
just
it,
to, especially doing all your homework. I think what I've learned actually. So when I applied for voc rehab and used the education benefits, and when I did it, I really did only. I followed the instructions. I did exactly what my voc rehab counselor. I'm gonna give her a shout out. Her name's Donna Vaughn in Clarksville, Tennessee. She's amazing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And she said that it's a very few percentage of veterans actually use it or just follow the program to the T. And that's all I did was just follow her instructions. And I just put in the work. And she, went above and beyond. and to help me out and give me everything I needed. And that's just an example of, you work for somebody, they work for you. And that's a quote from Josh Pence. I work for you. You work for me. I work for you.
Yeah.
That's what he used to always tell us. And, that kind of stuck in my head.
Well, because it worked.
It does. Yeah.
It works.
You bust your ass for him and he'll bust your ass for you, even though he's your leader, and it's a symbiotic relationship, I think. And, mutually beneficial. But that's the way it is. You get people that are, that really care about what they do, like Donna Vaughn. She's a veteran herself, and she's passionate about helping other veterans. And when she sees veterans,
can you ask her to come on the show?
Yeah, I think she would love it. Actually,
let's get her on the show. Donna Vaughn, right?
Yeah, she's a VRC in Clarksville, Tennessee.
I like.
Now, I don't know. I don't know the legal ramifications. She works for the Department of Veterans Affairs, but I think she would be great.
Oh, she come on and talk about the program, man. They're all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Look at you, man. You're already bringing folks to the podcast, man.
Yeah, she's awesome. But and it's what's also amazing is where she is. Her workload is huge.
Right.
I mean, but she gets it done. But yeah, you put in the work and they'll work for you. It's not like there's just there's not, especially because a lot of them are vets.
Yeah.
So they know. And it's not people out there just trying to collect a paycheck. There's people that are passionate about helping their own. And that's what it's all about.
Well, that's what you got to have, man. You got to have that passion. On the episode we had on Wednesday, man, we kind of, we talked about that a little bit. You've got to surround yourself by people that are willing to break themselves to help you. You know what I mean? And at some point in time, when they've stood you up and helped you enough, you're going to be prepared to help others. That's why the show is here. It's like it kind of feels like like when you're on and you're pouring everything out there and reliving some things that you're not getting anything for it, but we know that we are.
Right.
It's going to be a little bit farther down the road. It's going to feel amazing.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Duane. Good stuff, brother.
Yeah, and that's the thing about that. When I listened to that episode about who you surround yourself with, and we're going to get into this later, I know, but I have that problem with nobody, since my transition, I haven't really met anybody that thinks like me, and I close myself off from certain things, and it kind of opened my eyes to it's self-inflicted, and once you surround yourself with good, like-minded individuals, you can really make a lot of things happen. And I think that's what we're doing here. We're talking about, it's funny, Josh Pence sent me a message on LinkedIn. He's like, hey, check out this podcast. And it's, it was, I was like, man, it's a hard dog. And so I started listening to it and I started talking to you and I heard Tashima on there. And then, it's like, hey, I know somebody else that could help, and then these are like-minded people that I know. Yeah. We're trying to bring together. And it's just like, we're trying to, influence positive change, know. I think it's a great thing, man.
Well, dude, it
gives you purpose.
I mean, Duane, when we started talking, you were like, hey, man, I want to be a part of this. I want to help. And, man, it's been amazing, and it's only gonna get crazier, man. Like I said, like you're involved in it now. I really want to tell everybody about the farm, but I know you're waiting for that. Of course, we'll do an amazing episode when that comes ready. Yeah. But just amazing stuff out there, brother. Amazing stuff.
Yeah, there is.
Well, dude, do you want to talk about this PFC Glendon Oakley Jr. down there in El Paso?
Yeah. So, so that guy.
That's crazy, dude. Right?
Yeah, I actually just saw something on the news about him. It was actually a YouTube video that I don't know if it was from like Tim Pool or it was from one of them, but this guy, he ran to the sounds of the guns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he didn't flinch, man. He knew he was carrying. He's legally carrying.
Yeah.
And he knew that. He was. I think like most of us, that are veterans and, and current active duty, you feel like, I don't know if I want to say protector, but you feel that it's your obligation to take out that threat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And and the innocent life was at risk, and that guy didn't hesitate. And that dude, he's amazing.
Yeah.
What he did was amazing.
My thing is, man, as I look, I'm watching the video of him, like right in the parking lot, right after it happened, and they're getting him fresh. And of course, he's scattered, and he's kind of staying in one theme. He's just talking about what he knows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it all happened so fast, but man, I'm just thinking, all I'm thinking to myself is, Kente, you need to get your arms around this young man. You know what I'm saying? Sergeant Major Bryant's down there. There's got to be amazing mentors down there. It's like somebody needs to get their arms around this young man and make sure that there's some good things in front of him that he can leap off of this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
His character, his character is well ahead of his ability to speak. His anything. He'll grow into that. Mm-hmm. You and I were the same way, man. But we were doing stuff, and people got involved. I'm excited for that guy.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. And that guy, you never know what the future has in hold for that dude. It could be, that could be the next president of the United States. You know what I mean? He could be the next Medal of Honor recipient.
Sergeant Major of the Army.
And this guy could be, he could be influencing, thousands, millions of lives.
Crazy, dude. That's amazing. Man.
He's just fearless. It's great.
Yeah. Well, hey, folks, I want to tell everybody a big, big thank you for all the shares, talking about the show, reaching out to the show, spreading the word. I mean, the veterans that are coming on, you've heard the episodes. It ain't easy, folks. It ain't easy going back in time and living stuff that keeps you awake at night. But they're doing it. And the care that you're giving when these veterans come on is just amazing. Thank you for what you do. Veterans that have been coming on and co-hosting, thank you. And keep it coming. Keep it coming. We're going to make the show so it's as easy as possible, and it still stays fun. So, hey, it's led to Duane being here. Got another co-host, brother. Another co-host. Are you ready to... Are you ready to show veterans, talk to them about the right way to transition, how to live life?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna, from my perspective. Yeah.
Well, hey, man, it takes a tribe, brother. It takes a village. Yeah. And every member of the tribe's got something to bring. And you're a heavy hitter in the tribe, brother. So it's good to have you, man.
Thank you.
Good to have you. Maybe you can convince Josh to come on.
Yeah, maybe.
That might be a hard sell, man. Arm bars and chokes with that guy, dude. Arm bars and chokes.
Yeah. I don't know. You can, maybe we all have like some inner drive to help, but, talking to you last week and then doing this now, it's like you said, it's not easy, especially if something that comes up that, is a difficult moment in your life. And, it sometimes can be hard to get through and you just may want to shut it off. But I think, the friend of mine, Eric Risley, who started that Active to Veterans program, that, if you feel alone and, sometimes you call that advice line, or you call that veterans helpline, you say, hey, I just need someone to talk to, man, and it sucks that, it's cool that it's great that resource is there, but, it's better that if you have the people that lived it with you that you can go to. And I think that's, what the point of this is, it's to build a network of veterans to help each other out and get to those difficult moments, even though it's difficult for you to come on and talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of times, man, it's like, like hell, even while you and I were talking.
Yeah.
We were figuring things out together. Like,
Yeah.
hey, what is this? And we talk about it, and it's like, man, is that what it is? It's like, I think so. That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
And then, we write that down, and we've got some other episodes. We're going to reach out to other veterans and find out if that's what's going on, and we'll talk about it,
Yeah.
So, man, just amazing, amazing way to connect and support each other. You know what I mean?
It is. It is. Yeah, I've been, I'm gonna, once I get my Facebook page up for the forum, we'll talk about, but I'm gonna definitely keep pushing this stuff. I already shared on Par Leader.
Good.
But I think the more people we get involved, there's millions of us, and we know, we're like the good virus we talked about. Remember, we affect each other with information, and we can, I know this person knows this person, and so on and so forth. And I think it can really grow like from a grassroots, beginning. So
I hope so, man. I like I said in the very, very beginning, is I hope that other veterans start up podcasts. Mm-hmm. That wouldn't bother me in the least. You can't have too much out there, and I don't care if 10,000 or 100,000 listeners go from me to another podcast. If it's better than this one, go for it. And just to think that you coming on the show encourage somebody to do that,
right? Yeah. And to you too. I mean, it takes courage to start something, man. And it takes commitment, and obviously it takes a lot of your time. So, I mean, thank you. I appreciate what you're doing.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yep.
Well, hey, brother, they don't log on to listen to me. They want to hear, they want to hear you drop the knowledge, man.
All right. Well, where we can start at, we can just do a little quick summary of my service.
Yeah.
My background. So I'm originally from the San Joaquin Valley of California. It's Fresno, specifically, where it's very hot and dry. A lot of the delicious fruit that we eat comes from.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I grew up kind of a very poor, broken household. Little aggressive mother. But throughout high school, I always knew I wanted to be a soldier, but I was lost. I never really had any life skills, and I wanted to. I was an angry kid, and I just wanted to fight and kill. I wanted to be an infantryman, and that's what I did. I joined the Army a year early, and 10 days after graduate, I was in Fort Benning. I'm going to OSIT, and I'll tell you what, it's a terrifying experience. You think you're a little hard ass, and you prep yourself mentally, physically to go. Mentally is the hard part.
Yeah,
but you can go out there and run, and play sports and do those things. But the mental part, if it's the unknown, which you build up an insane amount of anxiety, getting ready to go do something like that, and especially when you've been raised by a mother, single mother, and you're not really used to a man yelling at you. It's a life-changing event.
Yeah,
experience.
Now, your mom was in the Army too, right?
Right. Yeah, she is a veteran, and she's in the Army in the 70s. Ended up in Germany and things like that. But I kind of had a little bit of that culture. I had some great uncles that were Vietnam, World War II, Korean vets, and things like that. But my most direct influence was a former Marine that lived next door to us, and he's the one that I kind of looked up to. I kind of latched onto as a positive male role model, and he was a positive male role model. Yeah. But, and he was always trying to convince me to, go to college and be an officer. He's like, you're smart enough to be an officer. I was like, no, I'm going to be an infantryman. I didn't listen to him, but, he'd still, he would go out there and run with me and, just kind of help me out a little bit. But you get to basic and he what he told me was, hey, do what you're told and do it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. The mindset I went in there with is, and then one day at a time, and then next thing you know, you're graduating and you're going off to, duty station.
Where'd you go off to first, man? What was your first duty station?
I ended up in Fort Campbell. I ended up in 1st Alpha Company, 1st of 327, the Bastogne Brigade.
Bastogne.
And and I was there, just a crazy young kid from California that ended up in Tennessee and immediately fell in love with it.
Yeah, man.
That was my first time getting covered in chiggers and all that stuff. But you ain't got chiggers in California. You know what I mean? Not where I'm from, anyways. It's dust. But the cool part about that is just, I was on my own for the first time, and that's where I really started to embrace. I really loved being, back then it was, a field soldier.
Yeah.
I really loved being in the field and just training, and it was just a really fun experience.
Well, hey man, how were your, you were saying that, you came from kind of a broken home, and, what was happening at this point in time with your team leaders and your squad leaders, influence you, man? What was...
Yeah. So I was, those guys, everybody was crazy, and I felt like I was in my element. You know what I mean? I came from, I had a crazy upbringing, and I was crazy, and those guys were crazy. But as long as you busted your ass, they didn't care how crazy you were. But they did give me, try to impart some life skills. Cleaning up after yourself, taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Paying your bills and things like that. Things that I didn't know. I had no life skills, and those guys were teaching me. And your peers, it's fun. Your peers aren't afraid to tell, hey, you're fucking stupid, man. What are you doing?
Right.
And that's a good thing to have people like that around you. Mm-hmm. And you tend to, gravitate towards those people. But when when I got there, it was like winter time, or people, they were on leave, and I bought a car, and I had no credit. I got reamed on it. And when I met my squad leader, he's like, you have a car? I was like, yes, sir. He's like, where'd you get it? I was like, right here across the street. He's like, you stupid motherfucker. That's how he said. He's like, you're stupid, right? I was like, yes, I do. And that's what I started to learn, but those guys really, they were good leaders, and that's who really helped starting to, finish raising me and started helping me become a man, and, but I was crazy up until my 30s, man, so it's a long journey of people trying to help me out in my own self-destructive path. But,
well, you got to learn your way, man. Some people have to walk that path just so they can,
and I
they can chip away at some of the, the edges, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I had a lot of surface area, man. And,
that's funny, man.
But, and I credit my wife to really, we were both really young when we got together and got married, but, she was a huge role. She played a huge role in just helping me grow, and we've, every marriage is tough, and, you go through your ups and downs, but, without her, there would be no life, She's the foundation of me. And,
hey, Duane, I'm just going to throw this out there, man, and you and Jackie can talk about this, but if you two ever want to come on the show, man, and talk about your military experience and the military family, we'd be honored to hear it, man. We really would.
Yeah.
19 years of marriage, is that what you were saying? 19 years?
Yeah.
Through combat. What is that?
Yeah.
6 deployments? 5 deployments?
5 deployments, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something's built for longevity there, brother. And I think we got to find what that nugget is and get it out to folks.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. And it's like anything. It's if you love somebody, you love each other, and you'll do whatever it takes to stay with each other, make it work, because it takes work. It takes a lot of work. Yeah. And it's kind of inward looking in and calling yourself out as much as your spouse will call you out.
Yeah.
But anyways, and then, we started making a family. And I re-enlisted after September 11th to go to Hawaii. And that's where our paths cross.
Yeah.
I ended up in Alpha Company 2 through 5, the old cacti.
Yeah.
My buddy's actually a sergeant major of that battalion.
Who's that?
His name's, I don't know if Dennis Golson.
I don't know.
He's a really, really great NCO. He's retiring.
Well, hey, if he's going to be retired, reach out to him, man. Reach out to him and tell that sergeant major there that this stuff's working. If he's got soldiers that are getting out, they need to be listening to it now.
Yeah.
And then have him reach out to the show and let's get him on here, man. When he retires, let's get him in here. Let's plug him in.
He's one of those. He's one of those positive influences. That guy. I've never met anybody that thinks like he does. He's a nonlinear thinker.
Yeah.
And he really cares for. I kind of, like I said, I gravitate towards people that have strengths that I don't, and he's one of those people that he really, really cares about helping others out, and and he'll spend money, time, and a lot of effort to do that, to help out his soldiers. And, that's why he's a sergeant major. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's just one of those. There's a reason why those people are sergeant majors. That's what he was made for. Dude, it sucks he's getting out, but it's his journey's got to end somewhere and start again.
Oh yeah, man! Another chapter of the saga, brother. Yeah, dude. I like how you say, man, how you gravitate towards people that have strengths that you don't have. Because I do the same thing, man. I do the same thing, and I think a lot more veterans need to do that. Get around people that improve their character, their standing in life. Yeah. Yeah,
it definitely for me is compassion for others, and that's something I had to learn. You know what I mean? And being around those people just made me realize, like, man, you're, internally I'm telling myself, you're kind of a piece of shit, man. You got to, and it's not to make myself feel better. It's just to be better. Whenever you, like I said, you stop moving, you die. You stop improving, you die. You stop trying to improve your character, you die. You die inside, and you're going to die outside.
Well, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with calling your ego in check, man, and calling your bullshit. Like you were saying, it's like you got to be able to see through your own shit, because if you don't, you're just going to be locked in it.
Yeah, and it took me. I'm not like some. It's trial and error. It took me a long time to get through that, and I'm still constantly getting through it. But it's always improving. I'm always trying. I'm seeking self-improvement. Because it's you don't want to get caught in that loop, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The loop is unforgiving, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, you will spiral out of control. And it could be in, drugs, alcohol, just self-loathing. It can just get nasty.
We've got a lot of veterans that are trapped into PTSD, man.
Yeah.
In that loop that we're trying to break. Real struggles, man. And everybody struggles with it, and like you were saying, having a good a good home life, that's a damn good start.
It is.
To help you sort through that stuff.
It is. And for those that don't, I mean, and and like we've talked about this, someone had reached out to me and I just didn't know. I was dealing with my own things and I didn't know how to help them. And I feel really terrible about it. Yeah. And they're doing great. And that's a credit to their character and who they are.
Right.
And they were actually, one of them was on your show, but I that's one of those things where, I have a lot of regret for that. And, I got to do something about it. That's a flaw. That's a weakness that I have to overcome.
Yeah.
And, and that's just something that I really want to take care of.
Well, don't be weak sauce.
No.
Don't be weak sauce, dude.
No. But anyways, we get to, I like how I could just, branch off into something different. We get into Hawaii. Hawaii was a great experience. Well, not only was it beautiful, that's where I met some of the greatest people. I met you. Yeah. I met Byron Tashima. And all those great leaders, over there. And we, that's right on my first deployment, and then my second most violent deployment. Yep. And I met a lot of great people and great experiences. And a lot of heartache too. But it was a weird time going through there. But you have, during that same time period, in that same unit, you get people like Nielsen. You know what I mean? Yeah, cornbread. He was there. He was there sucking it up and just providing his influence and guidance along the way. And look at him now. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's the kind of caliber of leadership that was there. I'm telling you, man, like we said, it was a perfect storm, bro. Yeah. Josh Pence. Yeah. You got Zavala. You had Barreto. I mean, you had all these, Tate. First Sergeant Tate, man, that was amazing. First Sergeant. Just these really, really great leaders that, we were all trying to get through all this craziness, and they were enduring it themselves, but they were a positive force. Yeah. In all that, in that mess, and that is exceptionally admirable. You know what is crazy, Duane? I sat there and think about that first deployment. And that was my first deployment, like combat. I mean, I've been to Bosnia, but it was nothing compared to this, even remotely close. That this was some of those, our leaders, they're going through first time just like we are. Yep. I mean, they'd never led in combat. And the thing is, man, if you look at, the progression of leadership that we're getting, it's been built on that. That very first deployment I went on, the senior leaders I had, they set the tone for taking care of soldiers for the rest of my career. In combat or back in the rear. It didn't matter. That was the level that I put on it. And it only got better. It only got better. Yeah, it did. I mean, the company you keep, man, it's like, my mom never feared because she knew I was there, So. Yeah. And that's a good point too. Cause, and I was a young leader. I was a staff sergeant, a squad leader. Yeah. So were you, we were just, we were young leaders too. And the stress on me, I felt that, I had to, I was really young, and I had these 9 dudes that I didn't want nothing to happen to them. And, the training was important. I felt, and I had Josh Pence as my platoon sergeant. And so training was absolutely the priority, and that's what will save you. But, I can imagine the stress on our leaders. Yeah. That was their first time, and it's, they spent 20 years or so in the Army, and here's the test. Yeah. And that's a lot of stress on them. They got to withstand the test. And, man, they, without flinching, man, once they were in it, they're in their element. Yeah, I think they took the shots. Yep. Everybody took them well, man. Yeah. Yeah. They had Angry Pete. Oh, Farrell. Yeah, man, he was amazing. He's amazing. But, he's out there. He's out there. Yeah. We'll get him on here one day. I think he's in Illinois, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he's a great officer. He's good. But then after that, I was in a dark place, man. And I PCS to Fort Irwin to be an observer controller. Worst place to go if you're in a dark place. Yeah, it was. It just got darker. Yep. And I was like, you know what? I still had an ETS state. I was at 10 years in the Army. I was like, I'm getting out. And so I was starting the process to ETS. And then, it was 2008, and the recession happened. I was like, well, I got a wife and 2 small children. It would be really irresponsible for me to get out. even though I'm in a dark place. So I re-enlisted, and it's funny too, because I had given up on everything. Like I'd gotten out of shape. I had, I refused to go to ANOC
3 times.
Cause I'm like, what? Yeah, well, I was like 4 years late, and I was exactly 4 years late, and cause I was getting out. But when I re-enlisted, I got sent to the Roxxons in the 101st, and a month from showing up, man, I was gone. I was in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You know, and then when I got back, I went to, it was called Maneuver Senior Leaders Course, or no, it was called Maneuver Advanced Mancock or whatever. It was ridiculous. They had to change that shit quick. Yeah, it was Maneuver Senior. Yeah. It was ANOC, but they put maneuver in front of it. I was like, listen, that's not going to work out.
That's funny.
But you know, went to that. But then after that, I mean, it was when I got back to 101st. I mean, it was back to back every year.
Yeah,
we were in Afghanistan. I mean, every year, and you know, and I had a blast. You know, I've got to be a platoon sergeant again, and just keep going, and you know. But it just kind of, you started getting older, started getting beat up, and just started getting tired. And I knew I had made some mistakes early in my career, and I wasn't going to get promoted again. And you know, the Army, they don't mess around with that stuff, you know. Yeah. And I could understand, but I wish they would just tell me, hey, we're never going to promote you again. Instead of just kind of, you know, submitting your board packet every year and just kind of biting your nails and then get just let down. It messes with your psyche until you realize what happened, you know, why.
Right.
But anyways, the, you know, and so then I ended up scoring a job working as a chief operations at the aerosol school for Campbell, which was an amazing job. And that's where I was taken out of my element, right? So, you know, I've always been a platoon dog, you know, always been a platoon dog.
On the line.
And I loved it. I've always just loved, you know, and when you're in a platoon, man, your world is a platoon level, you know what I mean? At most you think about company, but you know, like, you know, there's competition with other platoons in the company. And then, you know, you think at that tactical level. You know what I mean? And you start getting out of that and you start seeing the Army and you know, it kind of changes the way you think. You know, when you're in a light infantry platoon, you know, everybody else is a piece of shit to you, you know? Yeah. And you think a certain way. You're very biased and you know, and that culture is a kind of a unique culture in how everything is. And when you get out of that, you're like, whoa. But when I worked at aerosol school, I seen all walks of MOSs just perform at such a high standard and just it's such dedication and just it was amazing, man. And it really opened my eyes, and I started seeing, you know, I started really just kind of learn after, you know, late in my career,
right?
And that's, you know, a part of that is just being in a platoon and, you know, always wanting to be at platoon level because it was just so much damn fun. That, you know, I just didn't have that experience. And, but then it put me out, you know, I was doing like operations sergeant major type work, you know, coordinations and planning, and working with other organizations throughout the division and other installations in the military, you know, Navy and even FBI and U.S. Marshals and things of that nature, you know, getting them in the, you know, the Spies and Prize Master course and things like that.
Right.
A lot of demonstrations at like Indy 500 and doing all those coordinations. And it kind of just, it just threw my management game up, you know, and just kind of learning more about the Army and the amazing soldiers that would come through it. And regardless of what their MOS or skill was, you know, I had a forklift driver that was probably one of the best aerosol instructors I've ever seen. This guy's MOS was driving forklifts. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that aerosol, him going over there being an aerosol instructor just unleashed his potential. You know, and sometimes that's all they need. Chance. You know? Yeah. I mean, instead of just driving around. Yeah, instead of just driving a forklift around, this guy was just training the soldiers and just making shit happen. You don't have to babysit these people. You let them. You just have your little meeting, let them go, and just kind of spot check here and there, and just provide them what they need. What you need, I'll get it to you. Yeah. It's a thing of beauty, actually, and I really appreciate those guys. But then I said, hey, I'm retired. I'm not going to get promoted. This is it. This is my. I've culminated.
Yeah.
And so I started retiring, and I didn't have a plan, man. I was like, yeah, I should be able to get a job, and I started through Soldier for Life Transition Assistance Program, which is the evolution of ACAP and TAP and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a company that's contracted to the Army, and I really had a negative. It just seemed like everything was just kind of cover your ass, in the sense that it was just so much information, so little time, and it was very broad. And my wife, being HR, when I showed her my resume, she's like, this isn't a very good resume. This isn't great. And that's one, and they approved that I had to have a complete resume to retire, or to finish ACAP. The good information that they did provide, though, was, how to get in contact with the VFW, which is great organization for helping transitioning soldiers, especially get through the VA process. I mean, they are amazing. And
you used the VFW?
Yeah, the VFW has an office right there next to on Fort Campbell, right there next to the
I went through
SFL TAP.
I went through DAV.
Oh yeah, they're great too, man.
I went through the DAV when I did my my disability filing. Yeah. They did good.
Oh yeah,
they did good.
Yeah, I really liked what the VFW, and they still follow up. I mean, I still get emails from them. That's me how I'm doing. If everything's cool.
Are you a life?
If I need any help.
Are you a life member of the VFW there?
No, not yet. And that's where it's something. I'm a member of some organizations, and that's one that I think I definitely I was actually hit up by the DAV when we'll get into my transition when I got to California. But then I left, and we kind of lost contact because they're trying to get that new blood in because the organizations are dying.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think we definitely got to discuss.
My grandpa, man, when I came back from Afghanistan, that first deployment with you, I get back there to the ranch and come back on leave, and my mom gives me this envelope that's got VFW on it. It's got my name. I open it up, and it's got a life membership card in there. My grandpa had bought me a life membership off my first deployment. He was like, he's been to combat, get him a lifetime VFW membership. Bam, and there it was, brother. Had the card, the hard card. It wasn't paper, bro. This was solid, like a credit card. And and man, when I got back home, dude, they scooped me up. They're like, hey, you're going to be the commander of the VFW. And they did like, damn. I'm telling you, man, the very first meeting I went to, they're sitting there and they voted. They're like, Chris is the new commander. I'm like, oh shit. And we jumped into it. And you got to get in there, man. They're begging. I look at it this way, brother. These VFW, veterans, they picked up where the World War II veterans couldn't hold on anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they held that during that whole time, like when we were in elementary school and high school and in combat, they held it down. We've got to get back involved, but because just like the soldiers' homes, if we don't stay up on that, they're going to be gone. Yep. And the VFW does a lot of legislation that deals with veterans, that keeps us once again at the forefront of of the mind of society and legislation when it comes to deal with us. So
right, we
got to stay in there. Yeah, good points, brother. I like that.
Yeah, especially the they back when there was a lot of negativity. Like, look at the Vietnam vets, man. Like the way society treated them and the way that they're misrepresented in the media in Hollywood. And that's a disservice to those guys.
Yeah.
And those organizations were the only thing helping those guys out during that time. And during that time in between this next war, which, society decided, hey, they're a part of us again. They're allowed to be honored. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
and kudos to them for doing that. And it would be a shame for our generation to let that die.
I hope we don't. It kind of feels like we are, but hopefully we don't.
Yeah. That's the motivation, man. I got to get out. I got to get out there. So when I retired, my guys, I told them, I don't want any plaques. I don't want anything. Just, the only thing I want is a lifetime membership to 101st. And that's what they got me, man.
Sweet. Yeah.
I thought that was cool. But,
dude, you spent a lot of time in 101st, man.
Yeah, I did. I spent 12 years.
You dug some bones there. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. I was in, 2 brigades, the 1st Brigade and 3rd Brigade, and worked for the aerosol school in the end. But anyways, the transitioning period for SFL TAP, it just felt plastic, man. That's all.
Yeah.
I understand there's legal, Congress mandates certain things with veterans, and and there's these, but like the way the system works, everything's on a timetable that is very specific. It takes quite a bit of time, and I got it. They want to bring you out, pull you out of your unit, and spend a whole day with you. 3 days. There's one point. It's a 3-day seminar. It's supposed to come in like civilian attire, like business casual or business. I get it, but it just all felt very plastic.
Yeah. Now, do you think
the cool part?
Do you think some of that? Do you think some of that has to do with the fact that you spent so much time in? I mean, you spent 20 years in. When I kind of look at ACAP and TAP as being set up for, somebody that's been in like 4 or 8 years, 4 to 10. Because when I go in there and they're like, hey,
I agree,
you're going to have to be this way, and I'm like, that's going to be hard for me to do. I just spent 21 years like defining the person that you see in front of you, and you're going to tell me that that's not valid anymore. That's the part that I had a hard time with.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, and I chose the senior class, and the only difference between that senior and the junior is they just put you with a bunch of senior people. There's no difference in the curriculum. So I'm like, what's the point? So I don't have a bunch of, immature people making much noise. And, I mean, there's still a damn sergeant major in there that couldn't log into the damn computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but, he's just an old guy. He just didn't know very well. But, but yeah, it just seemed plastic to me. And I agree. I think it should, I don't know. There's no easy answer for it. Everything's complicated, right? Yeah. Especially in that sense. How are we going to gear this towards senior leaders and veterans? But, maybe something where they start doing test programs and start working something out. I know it costs money, but, get our input from it. Yeah. Develop a test program and see what happens.
Well, I think, when I look at that, man, now when I look back and I think, I think of like Kente and James, or, they're going to be retiring here in a few years.
Right.
If I was standing in front of them and basically I'm what am I going to tell these guys? I'm going to talk about stuff. Hey, this is the trappings of veteran life. But guys, you've been through it. You've been through life. You should know how to manage your life. I'm going to give you some of the finer points. So yeah, I would feel as if I was slighting them if I went up there and did the dance. You know what I'm saying? Just did the chicken dance up there. Yes. It's like, and they're throwing peanuts at me and stuff. I would feel stupid.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing what would help me the most, right, is to learn, hey, you can apply, like you can start your veterans your VA process 6 months prior to getting out, right? Mm-hmm. You will not find out what the decision is until after your ETS date, and your benefits may not start up to 90 days after your ETS date. Yeah. So I mean that's key information. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you just go ahead and plan off of almost 9 months. 9 months of you're not getting anything.
You got to save money so you've got something to fall back on. Get a job before you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And know this, that, we got, what they tell you in SFL TAP, some of the information is valid. These employers don't know anything about the military, what you did, what you do, what your experiences are. You can use those crosswalks programs that they have. They work a little bit, but it's really, if you know somebody, that's your shoe in. If not, you're gonna get a low level job as maybe an equipment operator or a laborer. I did 20 years in the Army as a senior leader, and the only job I could get was I had to join a union in California to be a general laborer for a heavy construction company. My first job, I was hosing out culverts on the side of a road with a fire hose, crawling in culverts with damn rattlesnakes and shit.
Dude, that's funny.
That was it, man. I was like, man, this is fun.
You're a tunnel rat, man.
This is gonna get.
You're a tunnel rat.
Fighting rattlesnakes and shit. I'm like, man,
hey,
and that's.
Hey, what other job offers did you have when you got out, man?
So before my official retirement, I was scrambling. I was just trying to find a job. So I got offered a job because I was rappel master, fries and spies master, to clean skyscraper windows for $13 an hour. And then I got offered a job at a compost company operating composting equipment, just stirring up dirt and shit. And that was $9 an hour. When after I retired and got back, I got offered a job by the Pinkertons.
Whoa. You said the Pinkertons? Like you talking Tombstone? Yeah. The Tombstone Pinkertons?
Yeah, Nashville, yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
That was just kind of on call, but my wife, and obviously, you get hit up by, they want you, people want you to go do, like, I always get emails about ERT in Kabul, working in emergency response teams and stuff like that, and that's like what Tashima took that route, but my wife, she's like, nope, no more, man, no more. And I respect that.
Do you think that would have been a formula for disaster, man?
Yeah, I think so, because I would have gotten really lonely and depressed, and then started just hating life.
Yeah.
And my outlet that I use now, is just, I got really big into strength training.
Right.
And I actually had a deep tissue massage a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still feeling I'm not doing recovery properly. But
I think I need to get in there and get some of that, man.
Yeah, she's like,
I'm glad you mentioned that.
She's like, you have the stiffest ITB I've ever felt. I was like, oh God. She's like, you're gonna snap this. I was like, oh. But that's my outlet, man, and that's probably what I would get stuck on doing, is just strength training. But without it, I'm a mess,
What therapy programs did you go through, man?
So oh gosh, you talking about for mental health?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started in 2008 after Iraq, after we got back from Iraq, and I've been on and off ever since then. I found the right formula for me, and everybody's different. I wasn't keen on group therapy. I found a social worker that I jived with, and what this social worker did was they called me out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They called me out on my own bullshit, and that is more beneficial than I think anybody realizes. A lot of people don't like hearing their own bullshit, getting called out.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to get through. But the way this, his name is Perrin Peterson. He's still a social worker here at Fort Campbell. He's amazing. Just an old Vietnam vet. Decided to get out.
Let's get him on the show, man. Let's get him on the show.
He would be wonderful, man. And that guy, he does not. But the way he calls you out is, it's not like he's trying to embarrass you. He's just trying to make you just reflect, and he wants you to get that personal insight. And a lot of people don't have that, you know. You got to look into yourself and you got to see how people see you. And it's sometimes really ugly, you know.
Duane,
and that's what he did.
Man, I'm glad you had some good folks, man, you know, since you've gotten out, like getting in your life, man. Because, I mean, you know, they're breaking themselves trying to help you. You know what I mean? And being, you know, honest dealers. It's like, you know, hey, you're not doing this right, bro.
Right. You know, the thing I learned too, though, is that, you know, just because you admit that you have a problem doesn't mean it's okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. You have to deal with it. You have to, acknowledging the fact that there's something wrong. That's the start. Mm-hmm. But then you have to work on it. You can't just use it as an excuse. I know I messed up. You know, I know I'm this, but you know, you have to do more than acknowledge it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's the key as well. I mean, there's several keys to unlock, but that's one of them.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you say that, Duane, because I think that, veterans habitually have that problem. Lack of follow through. You know, hey, you've got PTSD. Oh man, what do I need to do? Well, you need to go to these appointments. They go to these appointments. They're not better, but they think they are because they did what they were told to do, and they trick themselves into thinking that they're good, and they don't get the full benefit, and then they just stop. And then they go down the rocky road, and they're back in therapy, and it's follow through.
And and follow through, I think, is a lot of it's you know, one, you have to commit to a cultural change, right? Like I'm not a victim of anything. I'm not a person that you're going to place this stigma on. I'm a person that is dealing with some things, and I'm gonna work my way through it. And it's through a combination of, you know, if you have to, some people need to be on meds, but there's other ways to do it as well, to work, you know, and you want to get down to as little medication as possible because the side effects are brutal. Mm-hmm. But I personally refuse to take them anymore. But I found other ways, you know, and physical activity, you know, exercise and strength training is the best therapy for me, man, you know.
And what are you finding?
You know,
what are you finding with CBD? Have you been trying any of that there?
That's where I was getting to next. Is you know, I started researching alternatives to SSRIs. You know, the selective serotonin inhibitor. What is it? It's selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, because I've been on Zoloft and Prozac, and it just, oh man, you know, and those you can just all of a sudden they can just stop working, right. You know, and your libido just tears you up. So I was looking at alternatives for that, and I started looking into the cool thing about Colorado and California and those states that have legalized, you know, while California's been medicinal marijuana for decades. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, Colorado it just unleashed a flood of research. And this, they're talking about PTSD and how a high CBD, because, you know, THC can have a tendency to give people anxiety a little bit, you know. So they're doing research with high CBD, low THC is really good for PTSD. And so when Tennessee passed the CBD laws, you know, and you have they have really low THC, which, you know, doesn't do anything, but, you know, but CBD by itself is just one of the, you know, cannabinoids out of 120, 180, whatever they haven't figured out yet. You know, you have that entourage effect. Mm-hmm. I mean, I started using CBD oil, legal CBD oil here in Tennessee. And, man, it works really well. I mean, it works so well that I'm going to get into growing hemp. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I believe in it. I believe in the way how it works and how it can help vets, man. And because you don't have to believe it. You just do it, and you're like, whoa, this shit's amazing.
And this is this is O'Keefe Farms, right?
Yeah. O'Keefe Farms. Farms. But we're gonna, you know, and we're in the budding stage, man. You know, we're just starting.
Seedlings.
Yeah. And But this is what I want to do, man. And it's we got to get rid of the stigma of cannabis.
Yeah.
It's an ugly stigma, and it's based in just, if you look at history and racist bias opinions. And, to give people an example, the first time I was shot at was by my own father, and he was drunk. But when he was high, he was the coolest, funniest dude ever. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's a different
world.
Alcohol
is legal. It makes people the devil. You know what I mean? Some people.
Alcohol's the devil.
It seems just counterproductive and ignorant to me. And I think we need to change that, and I think we can. If there's 9 states already that recreational is legal, you have 33 states? It's similar in the 30s where it's medicinals or some sort of CBD. We need to get past this because there's so much benefit to cannabis. It's just out of control.
Well, there's a lot of people that are suffering, man. I mean, this it really does. When people laughed when they were like, when medical cannabis came on board, and they're compassionate care.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. It's like, if people are suffering, but this works, this is called compassionate care. It's like, it goes against, what you think. Be compassionate. These people are getting help. It's helping their lives. I've never known anybody. In fact, until I started using cannabis, I didn't know anybody that used it, really. People don't talk about it. Like you said, that's like the stigma behind it. But, I'm not out there doing anything wrong. I'm a host of a damn podcast, going to college at the same time. So you can't tell me that it doesn't have its benefits. It just I just don't believe it. So, but that's up for individual folks, and I'll leave it to them to think whatever they want.
Yeah.
But you and I are testaments. We're testaments to it. So
I'm not about groupthink or getting people to. I don't want to control anybody. Yeah. I just don't want anybody controlling me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Make your own decision. Make your own walking path in life. Don't rely on others, and don't regulate me. Yeah. That's how I am. But
you retired last year, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you've been like hella busy though. It doesn't seem like you've been sitting around.
Yeah. So I couldn't get a job. My cousin in California got me he said, "You come down here, I'll get you a job." So I left. My wife's getting the house ready to sell. Sold the house. I went back, grabbed her and the kids, loaded up everything, moved to California, got a rental, all that stuff. Working as a general laborer. It was a union. It was making $30 an hour, but you think about how expensive everything. My car insurance went up $1,000 over there, and it's unfortunate for the way the political system is over there. But everything is really expensive, just how it is. And I just couldn't sustain it. I was unhappy, and I couldn't get the VA hospital over there would not. I have to have medicine, weekly injections, and they would not give it to me. And I had to actually do a patient advocacy complaint. And I was like, man, why is everything so difficult to do here? Nothing was easy. Getting a doctor's appointment wasn't easy. Everything was just a challenge, just multiple levels of paperwork and just bureaucracy and just the high taxes, the out of control laws. And so I was like, you know what? I couldn't take it, man. 90 days. I volunteered for some work out on a wind farm in Texas. And through that time, I got my buddy's, he's a retired first sergeant out of Fort Campbell, and he's a real estate agent. I called him, and I said, hey, I need to find me a house back in Pleasant View, Tennessee, because that's where I just came from. I just sold my house, and here I am now. So I moved everybody back, just kind of gobbled up my savings, and we moved back. And for a while, I was just living off savings, man, trying to get a job. And so during that time, I couldn't get hired, man. Nobody was hiring me. And I had several interviews too. Well, the Pinkertons wanted to hire me. My wife didn't want me carrying a gun anymore.
Hey, Duane, can I interject, man? Ask you a question. So, how is your family taking this right now? I think I just want to get like this image. Is everybody leaning forward together? It's like, hey, this is what this family does. We go through hard times. We come out the other side. You know what I'm saying? What's the dynamic that's going on?
So by the nature of being a military family, we were used to moving. Yeah. And we were all excited. You know, I think you get like trained. Your family gets trained to PCS and gets excited about it. So like we just seen it as a PCS, right? And we left. Yeah. And then me and my daughters were miserable. My wife, because my family is really great over there. They're really good people, you know, and I love them, and I don't want, you know, I told them I felt really bad leaving them again, but it just wasn't right for us. My daughters were miserable. They went from a small little country school to, you know, we live out in the country, went to a small little country school in the middle of nowhere to just this giant, you know, multi-thousand student, just, you know, it's just weird. Just everything was just so foreign. So they were unhappy, and I was unhappy because I was just, I'm working as a general laborer. I'm working, you know, and it kind of, I struggled with the kind of caliber of people I was working with. You know, it's just, and that's one of those things. I'm used to being around a certain character of people and like-minded individuals, and then I was with people that I just had nothing in common with. We were at way different levels of thinking, you know, and it was really, really hard for me to be around them, just let alone listen to them speak.
So the company you were keeping there at work was bringing you down.
Oh man, it was bad.
That's amazing how that works.
And even even my boss was just, you know, he was all by himself, man. He was very inward focused, and, you know, that's just not something I'm used to, man. I'm not used to somebody being around people like that, you know? And, you know, we're not going to get too much into that, but the thing is you know, I'm used to being around certain kind of people, you know, and I have to be around those people, and, you know, and it's, you know, I thought I was tired of being around military, but, you know, when I retired, I had so much of this reflection and thought and doubt and guilt and all these things like that, you know, and I just wanted to get away from it. But then, you know, I was failing to see the strength of it. Right. I was failing to see how fortunate I was to be a part of that group, and leaving it is not going to benefit me or anybody. I can give back, you know, I can improve myself and improve others. And so, you know, and that's when I started talking to Eric Risley, you know, hey man, we need, you know, he was having problems. He's struggling, you know, and we were talking about, you know, wanting to get things done and try to make a change. And then life happens, you know, couldn't get a job and things of that nature. But, and then you get a job working as equipment operator in a large warehouse and end up getting in lower management like I am now. But the cool thing of,
Hey, do you guys ship the any kind of like MRE box surprise out of your warehouse?
No.
I wonder.
No,
I wonder who ships that.
It's all e-commerce.
Stuff. I wonder who ships that kind of stuff.
We just do e-commerce.
Okay.
Yeah, but the anyways, where was I? The transition back here, couldn't find a job, so I got in touch with the VA and the Voc Rehab, and so she said, based off your disabilities, man, and you're almost done with college, let's get you finished with college. Yeah. That's where Donna Vaughn, you know, I just did what she told me to do, and, you know, she's like, man, I've never seen you, like, in the rare few that score this high on this career aptitude. And she said, you do whatever you want, man, and let's make it happen, you know. And I said, well, let's finish college, you know, let's do it. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I'm 9 credits away. Oh yeah. You know, and I just credit Miss Vaughn for just being. I mean, she made it happen quick. Yeah. You know, she said some people it'll take them 6 months to get this thing started. I was started in a month. You know, and. You know, I wish more veterans would get hungry like that, man.
You know what I mean? To lean forward, knock it out, knock everything out you need in a day, and let the rest of the process take over. In 30 days, you're ready to, to start whatever you need to start. Follow through, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And a lot of that has to do with I'm very impatient.
Yeah.
And I want to get it done and get it done now. And that's just kind of the way things are for me. But the challenging thing is working in an environment I'm working in now, being around people that think nothing like me, having to deal with, I've never worked with women before, just a different, and that's nothing against women, but in that, because some of the best soldiers, there's some amazing female soldiers and service members out there that have done great things. But in the environment that I've worked in, it's a different kind of people that I work with, and there's a lot of drama, and I've never experienced anything like it. The kind of things that I have to deal with on the daily. So that's a challenge, right? I'm not against that. I'm the father of 2 daughters. I'm the only guy in my house. I know how to deal with women. You know what I mean? And it's not dealing with them. It's just being a human.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just being a human being. It's just, hey, you treat people like humans, and you have no problems. But we are different as the way we think, and it's just adapting. Right. But going to school full time, working nights like I'm working, it's very challenging. Yeah. But being in a situation that I don't like being in is driving me to get things accomplished, right? It's like I've turned my inward doubt and all this aggression and things that I've had, growing up and as I come into the Army and just kind of thinking about the people that I've learned from, I kind of go back to Josh Pence a lot, but he's a commonality between us, and he's just an amazing human being. You know what I mean? Like there's few people you meet in life that really affect you that way, and that he's one of those people. And I'm sure everybody that comes in contact with him, they're affected in that same way. He's one of those like beacons in the dark. You know what I mean? That's how Dennis Golson is. That's how these people are. And who people come to them, and then when they leave, now they're a light, and they're leading their own. They're their own beacon. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I draw. What would that dude think? What would he say? What would he tell me? You know what I mean? And a lot of times it'd be, quit being a pussy, man. Get it done. Life sucks. Life's gonna get you, man. But you know what? Don't. What would Josh say? He would say, "You want to be the man, beat the man." Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's it. That. Think about things like that. So I struggle with getting these things accomplished, but I also have my wife, who's an amazing partner in all this, and she's the one that kind of always, hey, reinforcing, hey, it's challenging now. You're almost done. You're gonna be glad when it's done. And the degree is something to just fall back on. She's really leaning forward with getting this farming thing started and starting her own part in the farming. So nothing for me is alone. You know what I mean? Without, like I said, without my wife, I would be a deranged mess. But I do have 2 daughters.
We got to get Jackie on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make an episode, man. We got to get you guys on. I've been wanting to have on the military family. I've been wanting to talk about the military family for a long time. If Jackie's down for it, man, let's talk. Let's figure out how it looks, what it tastes like, what it smells like, and we can go ahead and go with it.
Yeah, I talked to her about it, and she's a little apprehensive about it, but I think we can do it. I'm positive.
Maybe she'll listen to yours and see it's okay.
Yeah,
we're only going where you want to go.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and but without what the good thing about her is that she doesn't hold anything back. She'll call me out my shit, and it's sometimes it's not always good, but sometimes you got to hear it, man. I mean, a lot of times I have to hear it, it may start an argument, but, in the end, once you get over your own bullshit, you're like, man, I was wrong, and then, sometimes you got to apologize.
Yeah.
But, that's to have a partner that, where she's going to call you out, is, you can't beat it. You just can't. And that's what it is. You got to have somebody call you out, man. If there's no one there calling you out and you taking that as a positive thing, you get caught and you'll just start drowning. You're like in your own little maelstrom of your own shit.
Well, that's the thing. I was talking to a veteran the other day, man. If you try to make decisions in a vacuum on your own,
yep,
your mind is going to self-preservate. So it's going to tell you whatever you want it to hear. But if you don't have somebody on the outside, man, that's being like, "Whoa, bro, what are you doing?" Or a good, or a strong superego that like puts up that defense where it's like, "Whoa, bro, stop." But very few people have that where they can make decisions in a vacuum on their own. That you need to have people out there around you that keep you in that left and right limit.
Yeah, we're social creatures, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's those freaks out there that can do it on their own, but they're freaks. But yeah, and that's what, like, when you sent me that message about that veterans organization in Utah, and you said, hey, you would know this if you listen to the podcast, and I was like, I appreciate shit like that,
right?
Like, oh, you're right, man. I got you, and that's. I like honesty, man. I like someone to tell me. I like to know where I stand right away, and it's something I value. Honesty is a virtue to me, and I think more people need to accept it, because honesty sometimes is very ugly.
Yeah,
but it's what we need.
Yeah. Well, Duane, I was telling you about that meme I saw the other day. It's got like civilians standing around. It's like. There's a difference between civilians and veterans. Civilians will talk nice to your face and shit behind your back.
Yeah.
But a veteran will talk shit to your face, and when you're not around, they'll be like, no, that guy's solid. That guy's squared away.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's like, when you're not there, you think it's like, those guys fucking hate me. But when you're gone, they're like, dude, that dude's squared away, dude. If you ever need anything, that's the guy to go to. That's fun. It feels good. It feels good knowing that when 2 or 3 veterans are together, they might be talking a little shit about you, but in the end, you're just like them. You're just like them. And if they turn around and say you're a piece of shit, then they're kind of saying it about themselves.
Yeah. And that's like, and that's like not going into semantics either. That's like, saying that's a good dude. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I appreciate that kind of shit. That's a funny story, because like a few weeks ago, we were doing our stretcher warm up before the shift started, and this big man, he's a big man, dude. He's like 6'4", 280, 270, something like that. And he was doing a lunge, and there's a loud crack and a pop, and that was his knee, and it went out of joint. So me and the general manager go over there, and there's just people standing around looking at him. And the maintenance guys come out and put cones around the dude, right? This giant man. And I'm like, is anybody gonna treat this fucking dude? So I go to the cabinets. There's a couple of SAM splints in there. I grab SAM splints, some bandages. I wrap him up, put some splints on him, throw an ice pack on his knee, wrap him up. I tap him on the shoulders, like, "You be all right, man. I gotta go back to work." And then everybody, there's one dude holding his hand, and I was like, what is going on here, man?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
isolated shit.
In that situation, I'm thinking like, no blood, this is cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is fun. Yeah. I like the cone part, though. You got to be safe, man. You got to be safe. It's like sleeping out in the field by Humvees. Put Kim lights out. Remember that?
Yeah.
Put the Kim lights up so people can see you. They don't drive over you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that happened when we were in JRTC. 2 guys got run over in the dam, and the top. I was like, how does that shit keep happening?
That's sad.
Blows my mind. But But yeah, I was like, anybody gonna treat this dude? Like he's like going into shock because of pain. He's writhing around and just like turning color. And I'm like, man,
yeah.
And holding his hand, and the safety guy was talking to him and trying to like get his mind off it and talking about like, hey, your knee's fine. It's just, it hurts a lot right now, but you're going to be okay. And this, and that's great. Yeah. But I was like, isolate that shit, man. I almost, I didn't have enough material, but I was going to put both legs together to isolate it more. But I was like, hey, he'd be fine. He'd be all right.
Oh, splint it to the good one. Yeah. Yeah. Good call, man.
Yeah.
Good call.
But just that thing. And then somebody said, hey, maybe you shouldn't have done that because, you might get sued. I was like, what? I was like, so that's the kind of thought, that's the kind of think that I'm not used to.
Well, it's because either that or it's because you tapped him on the shoulder and said, hey, you're going to have a limp for life. Get used to it. And you just walked away and went back to work. I'm a realist guy. You're going to have a limp for life. Get back to work.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Kiss that college ball dream goodbye or whatever. Yeah. But it's just, it is that cultural shock that we have to get through. But like, referencing your Wednesday episode, it's who you surround yourself with, man. Yeah. And that's the key. And I have never thought about that until I listened to that. And I was like, you know what? Like I have been isolating myself, and I just, why am I doing that to myself? Well, and if I don't want to talk to somebody, I say, hey man, not right now is not a good time. That's all I got to say. And I think, they would respect that.
Yeah. Well, think about this, man. Cause I know this for a fact, Duane, that you love to laugh and that you are a funny dude.
Yeah.
That you are a funny dude.
Yeah.
What happens when you start getting around people, man, that bring that out of you? That mirth, that humor that's built up on the inside where you're like, I really want to kind of have fun right now while I'm working. And then and then you get involved with people that allow you to feel that way.
Right.
It's a game changer, bro. It's a game changer.
It is. It is, but here's the problem with me, right? And this is something that, so before I got out of the Army, I would freak people out by my humor. You know what I mean? People are like, God damn, and they would tell me, hey man, when you get out, man, you can't do that shit. And then, at work, I got to watch that shit. I got to really watch what I say and how I do things. And because, what used to be really funny around in our cultures that we were in is really offensive to people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And or sometimes they're like, man, why do you go there? Like what do you mean go there? You know what I mean? It's just like, but or the way I say things, because we're in the Army, man, you're in a melting pot and you hear everything, especially the infantry units, and you hear the funniest shit from all over the country and sometimes the world. That people say, and that shit sticks.
Yeah, it does.
like I got gut snake. That came from you, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're the one that first heard that say. I was like, God damn, that's funny. Or when somebody gets the shits, they call it the brown laser.
Yeah.
It's just like you don't hear shit like that outside of the military, and then so I come and speak to people, and they're like, what the we call knee pads San Francisco slippers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you just don't, people just, it kind of blows their mind. But when I am able to go, man, it's a good thing. And I just want to get to that point where I can be myself, obviously to maintain certain social norms, especially when you're working for a large corporation, you need to be on your best behavior. But, that's work though.
Yeah.
When I can let my hair down and be, it's great, man.
So this, so let me get this right, man. You are making an active change to actually have friends now.
I don't have friends,
but you are making an active attempt to get back. I mean, you're getting a Facebook page. I mean, that's going to open up social media. People are going to be reaching out to you. people you don't even know that want to help you out.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is just to, I guess you're right. You're right. I don't want to, because that's just who I am, and I don't want to lose that identity. Mm-hmm. But I think I have to be able to turn it on and off. And that's the hard part, is, no one really knows who you are, and maybe I don't want anybody to know who I really am, because they're going to be like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? You know what I mean? Like, well, maybe that's the challenge.
Have you thought here that maybe because here's the thing, man, Oak Key Farms, you're talking about working in the veteran world, right? That's what you're talking about. You're going to have like-minded individuals that are gravitating towards you. You're going to be living in the eye of the perfect storm that you've created. Yeah. So the environment you create, you're going to have the people that are around you. And here's the thing, they're already going to know. Yeah, they're going to know who you are and what they can get away with and what they can't. And it's going to be their norm.
Yeah, because I'm going to write the orientation.
I'm gonna be there when you give the first one, man. I want to be in the corner, just hanging out. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, you guys got to sign this,
right?
Saying you agree to it.
Duane, what do you got, man? Lessons learned for all the veterans out there, man. The culmination of drop some good stuff on them. And then we're going to pick it up on another episode, man, and rock, because you're not even done yet, bro. Your tank's still full. Your tank's still full.
Yeah, I'm not even close to being done. Yeah, so my big lessons learned, it would be whatever you deal with in life, however whatever the good and the bad that you've experienced, you can always use it and turn it into a positive force to get things done. And never, what I've learned also is there's people out there that'll help you. And you got to sometimes, for me, you have to sometimes set aside your pride, because if there's always people that really truly want to help. But if you always turn down their help, they will stop offering help. Yep. That's not a good thing, because sometimes when you really need it, they're not going to be there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so, just say, hey, yeah, you can help. Just, I only need this, nothing big, and that's just all you need to do to maintain that kind of relationship. And also, with those experiences that you learn, to turn it into positive force, you can use it. Some people are, glass half empty, half full kind of people. I really like to be a glass half full kind of guy, because if you look at the world negatively, it's gonna eat you up. Yep. And I've had to learn that through trial and error, and that would be things that I own personal bias and my own, you have to see through your own personal shit, and that's again surround yourself with people who get you through it and call you out. And it's going to hurt, but then you use it to say, hey, I don't like the position I'm in. I don't like where I'm at, and I'm going to do something about it. Right. And when you sink back into your little self-loathing, right, they pull you back out.
Yep.
And you get focused again. Right. And that's where my wife is, what I mean? But I do, there's people like you, man. There's people like Riz that call. I know I can call Josh Pence, hey, I need help. And that, and he would do it. I could call Tashima. Mm-hmm. I could call Golson. There's these people, there's so many, it's insane.
Those people are just like you too, man. They're just like you.
And they're dealing with their own shit too. Mm-hmm. But anyways, it's to use, don't be a victim, and work your ass off and use it as a positive. Use everything you've experienced as a positive force to get things done. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I and then find an outlet. Work out. Exercise is the greatest therapy. Keeps you healthy, and it keeps your mind. It washes your mind out. It's sometimes I'll get done with a workout, and I'll be finishing up maybe the last set or something, and man, I'll have just everything will unleash, and I'll have like an emotional event right there, man.
Yeah.
and I have tears come to my eyes when I'm doing my last deadlift. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, but it's a cleansing, and it's, you know, it's kind of embarrassing to say that shit.
No, it's not.
But
no,
I
man.
think
It's your body doing what it does for homeostasis for you to survive. If that's what it takes to get you, your mind and body want to be there. All your body's doing is helping you to move that direction. Don't fight it, man. Don't fight it. It's el natural, bro.
Yeah. But for me, it's embarrassing. But the reason why I'm sharing it is because maybe it's going to help somebody.
Yeah. I'm gonna come deadlift with you, man. I want to see you cry.
Yeah.
I got no problem.
We'll be laughing, man.
Dude, I can't deadlift shit. You will be laughing at me, no doubt.
Yeah. I couldn't. I mean, I've been doing this a while now, but it's still hard because I walk like 10 miles a night in that warehouse. But yeah, you know, it's have an outlet,
stay in shape, man.
Have a solid group of people around you, and on people that are going to be honest with you, and don't buy your own bullshit. Get out of your own traps.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You got to get out of your own traps. And that's that. It's weird. I hate saying it, but I mean, because it was so negative in the Army, but there's that sports psychology, man. That's what it was. That's what it is. Yeah. You know, it's, if you think about it, we're athletes, you know, and it's still something that can translate to what you do today, anytime. You know, you're performing, you're going to perform, you know, you got to get your mind right.
Well, you got to train your mind and your body if it's going to do that.
Yep. And you got to, you know, you can just go get it done, but you know, you can get yourself trapped in something. You got to get yourself out of it. Yeah. So, but it took me a long time to learn that, man. It took me a lot of trial and error, and I'm telling you, my wife, this amazing lady, if it wasn't for her, you know, I'd be fucking, I mean, I'd be okay, but I wouldn't be where I am today, because I'd be lost without her. I would. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad Jackie was in your life, man, because we definitely need you out here. Because you're good, you're a solid dude, man. You're a great American. You're a great friend, and I mean, the community's going to get a lot, man. Even your soldiers you used to have are going to get a lot from this episode, man. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I hope so. Guaranteed. I have a lot of messages for them too. I don't know if it's the right platform, but because remember we talked about that regret, man. You know, there's a lot that I had that I feel I could have did more for him and been a better leader for him. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt I was just a lot too cold at sometimes. You know what I mean? Too hard.
No, I get you. I definitely get you.
I didn't let them know how much I really appreciated them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's so many of them that I felt like, man, if I would have just said something different to that person, they would have been so much better off. You know, a lot of them went to drugs, man.
Yeah.
A lot of them went to drugs, and it's ugly. I mean, where they were like, you know, and I had a tendency just to give up, man. And it hurts me. It hurts me just to give up on them.
Reach out to them. Make up for lost time.
Yeah.
Do it. I guarantee you, man, they're not going to hold it against you.
Oh, yeah.
Get in there, brother. Get in there, man. Show them some love. You'll be good.
Yeah.
You'll be good. I know you will.
Yeah.
Duane, I'm glad we're back together again, man.
Yeah, me too.
This is old Apache Company riding again.
Yeah.
We're gonna ride. Hey, brother, we're gonna ride through the ranks and we're gonna pull people in. Let's get after it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. All right, man.
Yeah, it's just step one.
Yep. Hey, brother, thank you for coming on, man, and co-hosting. I had a great time, and we're gonna do it again.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man. You got any safety brief you want to close out with?
Make sure you stay hydrated, because not only is it good for, like, you know, dissolving minerals and food you eat and things of that nature, but it's a key factor in mental health. A lot of people don't realize that, you know, when you're dehydrated, it can really affect your cognitive ability and your reasoning ability. And it's not just to keep your muscles and, vital organs going, but to keep your behavior in check. It really does help. And a lot of people don't realize that. Let it lay off the sodas and the beer, man, and start drinking some water, get some electrolytes and shit. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I know it's funny just to bring up water, but it is, man. It's important to the function of your brain. You can't think right when you're dehydrated. You just can't. You're off. You're a creature of impulse.
You're off your game.
Yeah, you're a slave to your impulse, and that's bad.
Yep.
You got to be in control. And I don't dip anymore, man. I quit dipping.
Really?
Get up. Yeah, I quit dipping. I had shoulder surgery, and I quit dipping during recovery.
Hey, I'm gonna do you. I'm gonna do you a huge something, and I'm gonna let me finish doing what I'm doing over here with this group of folks, and I'm gonna send you something, man, CBD wise, that you might enjoy some Canada dip.
Oh, cool.
I'll see what I can do.
All right.
Hey, Duane, thanks for coming on, brother, and we're gonna get you on here again, man.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks for what you do, man.
Yeah, brother. Thank you.
All right, bye. All right, bye.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Heart of Volunteer Veterans Podcast, bringing it to you again. Duane O'Keefe, everybody. I got to tell you, it don't get no better. It don't get no better than a veteran coming on and being open, talking about what they've been through, and what they're doing to improve. Folks, you need to listen to this episode. I hope you're listening all the way to the end. And great message out there. Great message. Hey, everybody have a great weekend. And hey, share the podcast. Talk about it. And don't forget those veterans out there that need you in their life. If you're doing the right thing and you know there's a veteran out there that can use your help, get in their life. Don't be afraid to reach out to them, all right, and help them out. Hey, everybody, stay blessed. MRE Box Surprise. Check it out. Heart of Volunteer 2019. Copyright.